Yeah, and you've really got to be in the water on a regular basis to be able to do that too. I have a lot of people who sort of apply for our membership, and one of the questions I ask them is how many times a week can you get in the water? And for the swimmers who can only get in once a week, I say to them, look, it's not going to be enough to really get the most out of the coaching. So really, a minimum, it's got to be 2 times a week. Three or more is ideal. And I know people are time pressed, and if you're doing triathlon, you're going to have you're going to be training quite a few hours a week, so it is difficult to get to the pool enough to be able to do that. But it's to become more familiar in that sort of environment. My rule of thumb is generally 3 times a week is ideal, but two you can sort of maintain depending on what level you're at. But it's got to be a regular thing. And I've swum twice now in the past. I think it's about 8 weeks now because I've got an 8-week-old baby, and so it's just been pretty flat out in the household at the moment. But I got in yesterday for the second time in whatever it is, 6 or 7 weeks, and it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good at all, and that's with thousands and thousands and thousands of laps behind me. As soon as I take much time off, I really, really feel it. And I've still been running. I'm still fit, but just that swim fitness is very specific. And it's you can't get away without really getting in the water. There's not much that can compensate for it.
Right. I think there's two pieces to this, or two parts to this, and it depends on what level you're at. So for somebody like you, or somebody like me who come from a swimming background, the feel for the water is a very legitimate thing. It's very hard to sort of define. It's very hard to explain. But the easiest way I think I can explain feel for the water is we understand very well as humans how to interact with gravity and how to interact spatially with objects around us when we are standing up vertically. We've had a lot of practice with that, so we understand that very well. Feel for the water is that same concept, but when you are horizontal and interacting with the aquatic environment. So it's the ability to understand how your body balances. It's the ability to find pressure and to feel connection with the water that is going to allow you to increase propulsion. It's your ability to sort of interact with the aquatic environment. And I think for somebody who comes from a swimming background, or for somebody who is at a level where their technique has got to a point where it's fairly well locked in, and even taking time away from the water is not going to cause them to their technique as a whole to massively regress. Spending time outside of the water is just a matter of, or getting back in after you've spent time outside of the water is just a matter of reestablishing that feel for the water, and that can come back if you touch the water again fairly easily and fairly quickly. I think a good way to explain it is if you or I or anybody had to get into bed and not get out for a week or 2 weeks, the first couple of steps we would take after standing up when we did get out of bed again would feel very weird. I don't know if you've ever been sick or had a surgery where you've been bedbound for a period of time. But the first couple of steps that you take after that period feels very strange. It feels very weird. And I think that's exactly the same experience that you have after not swimming for 8 weeks, is going back with that feel.